Alright, hi there, my name is David and welcome to Bricks, Blocks and MOCs. So today I'm taking you through the design process of the BMW 3 Series, the new 2020 version. And yeah, if you're new here, welcome to this channel, I'm really glad to have you. And yeah, you know what I'm gonna say next. If you like what I do, please consider subscribing because that would be very appreciated. And maybe even leave a comment of what you want me to do next. And for those of you who've been here for a while, welcome as well. And I'm really glad you turned in for this new video. I'm gonna keep this intro very short. I just want to give you a bit of backstory why I chose to build the M3. I really wanted to build a new BMW, and I'm actually more of a fan of the 4 Series, but I'm not a fan of the newer 4 Series with the new grille. I just don't like it. And for all of you car enthusiasts that are watching this, you are probably already familiar with this new BMW grille type and the controversy behind it and so on. It starts to grow on me, the new grille, but I'm just not a huge fan of that. But yeah, anyway, I really wanted to build a newer BMW, so yeah, I went with a BMW 3 Series for 2 reasons. First, I didn't want to build a 4 Series. And second reason, I think I never ever built a sedan before, so that was something really interesting for me to build. But yeah, that's the reason why I chose to build a 3 Series. But yeah, anyway, I won't make this intro any longer, so let's get on with the video. I should have started to film this a lot earlier, but I've just been so busy this past time, especially this past week. So when I started to build this M3, I just wasn't in the mood at all to film it. So I have already done quite a lot of progress, as you can see. But yeah, I will try to go through what I've done so far. But yeah, it is quite a lot. I actually just finished the whole front, actually. The rear is also in good progress. So I just will go through what I've done and so on, the best I can. And yeah, then after that you will just follow on the progress I do. But yeah, I will just get into the actual build and show you what I've done and so on. So yeah, here it is. Alright, so what have I done so far? So I created the front, as you can see, and yeah, maybe the grille is the obvious most interesting thing over here. And yeah, I always say that just keep it simple, but this isn't to keep it simple. But yeah, I think this BMW M3, it was really just a huge experiment for me. You know, BMWs are pretty detailed cars, at least compared to, you know, Audi, maybe not Mercedes. Mercedes have also pretty detailed cars, but yeah, compared to Tesla and Lexus, and yeah, they are very detailed. They have a lot of small details, and yeah, to capture that in this scale, it is very complex. And what I would actually suggest to do, and I've seen a lot of people do that, and just rely on a piece here instead, some piece, instead of just creating what I've done here. You see me do this on a lot of other cars as well, but yeah, what I've done is created like the shape of the kidney grills, and in this small scale I wouldn't, it's kind of an idiotic thing to do, because keeping it clean usually just looks the most good, and if you try to cramp in too many details, it just looks too much. But yeah, anyway, I've tried to do that right here, and what I've done, it's just the classic way. It's some clip pieces, some bar pieces and some brackets and stuff like that, just to create this shape. And yeah, I think this looks good. Absolutely, I think they look a bit too big, and I don't know if I prefer this actually over like using some other pieces that look like the kidney grills or something like that. But yeah, I think I just wanted to try it, okay? So yeah, I think it looks okay, and it was very fun to create. And yeah, the lights as well. The interesting part here with the lights, actually, as this a tile between those two tiles here, it makes the grill like a bit longer than 4 studs, which would have interfered with lights if I just created them like without using some special pieces, stuff like that. So I used this clip modified plates with a clip instead to give a bit more extra space for these tiles. But yeah, the grill looks a bit too big in my opinion. And what that means in practical terms here, it means that this lower air vent here in the middle, it's just a bit too thin, if you know what I mean. It is what this and yeah. Alright, so it has happened quite a lot with the rear as well, as you can see. And yeah, it's nothing super exciting here actually. It's quite the regular things I do. It's just a lot of snot technique actually, basically. I don't know if I should say too much about this. It's actually, let me check what I've actually done. It is just a lot of bracketing techniques and studs on the side and snot techniques and stuff like that. Or a lot, it's not a lot. But yeah, here, the exhaust pipes, they are kinda interesting actually. This is a very nice technique to use actually. to use this 1x1 bracket. If you have these mudguards so they stick out of the bottom plate or the base plate here a bit, you can actually fit them like this. So yeah, that's a nice technique, but it's nothing new. It's nothing new. But yeah, the rear was what I was currently creating when I started to film this. So I guess I will just get into finishing the rear and so on. So yeah, let's get into that. Alright, so I've already come up with a technique for the rear lights, and I think this will look very good. I think it captures the shape of the BMW rear lights. It doesn't look much now, but when I incorporate it into the car, I think it will look very good. And yeah, my idea is that it will be attached to this and then angled inside, and this will be inside the actual car body, if you will, and then be attached to in here. Doesn't look like much now, but yeah, I will try to incorporate that, and yeah, but yeah, let's keep on building. Alright, so I got kind of stuck here with the rear of the car, and yeah, I will try to explain and show you. But yeah, I really want to attach this over here, like this. That's fine, that's fine. The problem here is that I really want to incorporate this as well, the license plate, and I thought of something like this. The problem comes in when I want to attach this rear plate thing, because this has to match up with the tile here, and yeah, it's actually a lot more complex than you might think, because the thing is that I use a lot of brackets here, not brackets, but mostly actually modified bricks with stud inside, and yeah, that's an awesome piece for adjusting heights and stuff like that, but it's very hard to like achieve the right height over here, because it creates a lot of small problems, and when I solve one problem, it creates a new one. The problem now is that this gap here, in my opinion, it's not acceptable. I would like to fill in this gap with kind of something blue piece like this or something like that. But the problem then is that because this blue piece is a bit higher than the two white modified plates here, it will be a bit too high. But then I can lower the bumper. The problem then is that will lower this as well, the rear light, because I really want the rear light to be on this bumper. I don't want to be any gap between it. And I can't use a plate between because it's a bit thinner than a plate. And yeah, that's just the problem right now. And I'm really tired, and I don't think I will build anymore today. I don't think I will solve this today, so I will take a break for today and return to this tomorrow. So yeah, I see you soon. Alright, so it's a new day now, and I actually managed to come up with a solution for the rear, as you can see, and I think this looks quite good. What I've done, or what I've come up with, was that, as you remember, I said that the problem was to just get all the length or the height right with the brackets and modified bricks with studs on side and all of that. You know, this part here where the license plate is. I was really struggling with if I would make it 2 plates high or like this. And I actually decided to make it 2 plates high, even if it doesn't look like that. And what I've done here is just lower this thing, because I use some 1x1 brackets here to attach these blue parts, blue tiles, to minimize the gaps here between. It's still some gaps here with a rear light between the rear lights here, but I think this looks okay. And what I just use some 1x1 modified bricks or 1x1 modified brick with a headlight on side, just to lower this a bit, and I think this looks quite good. And then these lights, they're just attached with some clip pieces, and they just go into the actual body of the car, and I think this looks quite good. I'm pretty happy with it. I had to change these like trans black pieces to some clip pieces instead, just to accommodate for the space this like spoiler takes up. So yeah, now I think I will just try to finish this rear end of the car up a bit and then move on to the sides of the car. My goal is to make openable doors for this. I think I'm gonna manage to do that, but we'll see. But yeah, let's get into that. Alright, so I have now created some doors for this, and I think this looks very good. And I used my classic hinge technique where the doors are hinged at 2 points, and I talked about that in my last video, the Mercedes G63 video. And if you really want to know more about it, I have a small tutorial over at my Instagram. But I used that technique over here, and it works perfectly. It just works. What I can say about it though is that what it does is that it eliminates the hinge gap that usually will be created when you use like these type of hinges or something. So yeah, it eliminates that hinge gap and just makes it more clean and sleek looking. So I think this looks very good. I didn't finish up the rear actually, just because I wanted to just see how tall the doors would be and so on, just show it so I could match it up a bit better with the doors. I don't know how well this will match up with the rear, because I feel like it will be a bit higher. On a real car it goes slightly upwards like this, and it's just so hard to create that in Lego. So it goes up a bit here, and then it will go up a bit more here. What do I have to do right now? I have to create an interior for this, and I also have to attach this windscreen again. Having a 6-stud wide roof, I think that's maybe a bit too narrow, but I really want to use this windscreen actually for this. It maybe could have been a better option to use some bar pieces to create like a windscreen effect, like I do sometimes, but I just want to use this windscreen piece for this. So yeah, I think I'm gonna try to use that. The most complex part that remains to create right now is maybe the roof line, as I think I've never created a sedan in this scale before. I don't know, at least I haven't posted it on Instagram or YouTube or anything. So yeah, I will probably have to experiment with that a bit, as I haven't done that before. It's not too much to do right now actually. It's the interior, it's the roof line, it's finishing up the other side as well, of course. Let's move on. So I just want to take a break here for a minute and show you a technique I use very often actually for every single build, and it's to use this adhesive paste. I think it's called Blue Tack actually, and I use this just to get an idea of what something would look before I attach it, or before I actually figure out how to attach it. And I think this is an awesome way to do that, and I can really see what it will look like before I try to attach it. And it's just a simple little tip that works very well. And as you can see now, I feel like the roof sits a bit too much towards the rear. I would like the roof to be a bit more towards the front, but the problem is that the windscreen actually is a bit longer than the windscreen on the actual car. So yeah, as I said before, it would maybe have been a better option to use like some bar pieces to create like a windscreen effect. But yeah, I really wanted to use this windscreen. So what I will do instead now is maybe move this forward a stud or something, even if it doesn't match up with the blueprints exactly. I think it will look better. But yeah, other than that, it's not too much to do. I have to attach this thing and so on. So yeah, I will just get back to building. Alright, so I'm now done with the roof line of the car, and it was actually a bit more tricky to design than I initially thought. What I've done here for the roof line here at the back is maybe the most interesting part of the roof line. I used some 1x4 curved slope plates and then attached them with some with a hinge and bracket technique that I used, like 1x1 bracket, stuff like that. And yeah, the windscreen, I'm not a huge fan of this part, but yeah, I just didn't want to just leave it open, so I think this works okay in my opinion. But yeah, anyway, for this I just use some classic hinge pieces and so on. But yeah, now what's left is just to create the interior for the car actually, and then it's done. So yeah, I will do that right now. so it's now finally done, and I think it turned out pretty good in the end. The interior which I added now isn't too interesting actually. I just went the simple route this way, and one thing actually I really would like to improve is the interior and the interiors I create. I always create the interior last, and then I'm just so eager to finish them all, so yeah, it's just, I don't know, but it's a very simple interior for this. And yeah, if I decide to make instructions for this, I might remake the interior. Anyway, this was what I went with right now. Also, I forgot to mention before that I added these tiles at the back as well, just to add a bit of height, and I just think this looked a lot better. My favorite part is probably maybe the front, maybe the front. Maybe I'm not a huge fan of this grille, I don't know. I think it's a bit too complex actually, but it's nice. It has open mold doors and stuff like that. And I also changed out the rims to these rims instead. And yeah, as you might know if you've seen the promo for the rim, my last video, you know that I've developed these rims. And yeah, I'm planning to start producing them if I get enough pre-orders. But I haven't actually gotten that many pre-orders, so I don't know if this project will be a success, unfortunately. But yeah, you're still able to pre-order them if you want. If I get 25 pre-orders, then it will happen. If you're interested in that, you can check out the promo for the rims, where I show off all the rims that are included. But anyway, that's all for today. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you liked the video. And yeah, if you did, please give me a thumbs up and maybe leave a comment. Anyway, that's all for today. And yeah, also, you are still able to pre-order the rims, but I'm not sure if that project will be a success. But yeah, I will keep the pre-ordering open for another week or so, but then I think I will close it. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But yeah, if you want to pre-order, just email me and the email will be down in the description. But yeah, that's all for today. Bye for now.